The definition of spirit that I'd like to start with, because I think we can use that word in many different ways, but the definition of spirit that I want to start with is that which is absolute and non-relative. So we're going to keep it, at least to begin with, we're going to keep it very, very simple. And so we could say that the experience of that which we could, if we discussed it, we come to a shared agreement together and say that that which is spirit is that which is possible to experience, that which a human being can experience and recognize as being not relative. Okay? And as far as what I've come to in my own evolution as a teacher and as a enlightenment and of evolutionary enlightenment, is there's only two dimensions of reality and of experience that are absolute. One is the awakening to the deepest part of ourself that's never been born and never entered the stream of time, what the Buddha called the deathless and the unborn. We've been calling it here the ground of being, and I call it the ground of being, or the deepest part of yourself and myself. And that's what we've been dwelling upon when we've been speaking about the nature of zero and things like that. That's what we've been dwelling upon in the being retreat, and now we've been dwelling upon that especially over the last 2 days. Right? So the only other dimension of reality itself that is infinite is the creative process. So if we look back, it becomes apparent that from this infinite ocean of being, this infinite ocean of being, there emerged a desire to exist and a desire to take form. Apparently, right? How do we know? Because we're here, right? We're here. Are we? Unless this is all a big dream. I don't think I'm dreaming. Are you dreaming? I don't think so. I don't think. So this what began as this barest of as this barely perceivable impulse to go in the other direction, we can understand through our imagination. Built up and built up and built up and built up and accumulated and accumulated and accumulated, accumulated and accumulated, and it continued to accumulate until there would be this huge release of energy. And then we were off to the races. But in this process of all this accumulation of energy before the big liftoff, the big flaring forth, as it's called, there was some kind of order. There was some kind of, you could, from an anthropomorphic perspective, we can interpret it as there's obviously some kind of mind at work, because from the very beginning there's certain mathematical patterns that have become fundamental structures in the cosmos at the level of macro, at the tiniest level and at the biggest level. So in all that accumulation, something was happening. And this is, of course, what's so exciting about evolution, because you all know that Darwinian evolution and the materialistic notions of evolution say it's all random. It's just one big cosmic accident. We can't explain how it happened, but what we do know, there's no reason. It happened for no reason. And and everything that's kind of fallen into place, like us, all happened for no reason. It's obviously just a total accident, And so there's been enough scientific evidence at this point to for believers like me to completely disprove that, or because there's just too much at work. There's just too much at work here. That there seems to be there is something. There, I call it the energy and intelligence that create. I call the evolutionary impulse the energy and intelligence that created the universe. But we have to go light with that because it's not a person. Energy and intelligence sounds like a person, but there does seem to be, if you stand back far enough and you look at understand cosmology and biology, and then ultimately get into the level of culture, which we'll do. We don't exactly know what's going on, but there is an impulse at work here that's making certain things happen that gives rise to possibilities, which then give rise to more possibilities, which then give rise to more possibilities, and here we are. So, what is so thrilling and life-affirming is there is an impulse that's driving this process that's created the conditions, to make it possible for us to exist. That's for sure, and if that's true, which it is true, it's quite amazing, and you realize that this is happening, at all levels of existence, from matter to life, to mind to culture. And so there is this impulse, but this impulse has given rise to conditions that make it possible for evolution to give rise to all these different levels of existence. And that's for sure. And that's all you have to do. You want to know what God is or what Spirit is? It's what's making all this possible. It's what's driving it. And there is something happening. Now, nobody knows exactly what it is because we don't know. But all we need to know is we can awaken to this impulse in ourselves, and I'll tell you how to do that. So you'll know that drive exists in the universe, and also in your own biology, and also in your own psychology, and also in your own as the nature of your own spirit. You can experience it, but you realize that's what there is an impulse, is an energetic and intelligent impulse that's creating conditions in which endless creative possibilities emerge. And how do we know? Because we're here, and we have to look back and look around us, and it's apparently true. At the level of the physical cosmos, at the level of biology, and at the level of culture, that's true.